putting India on the global outsourcing map, he has now been handpicked by the UPA government to head one of its most ambitious projects. On our show today, Nandan Nilekani, the chairman of the Unique Identification Authority of India. Thanks so much for being with us here on this show. If I were to just describe your role, you have to provide a unique number to 1 billion plus Indians, or shall we say 1/6 of the world's total population. Quite a daunting task.
Yeah, it is a very large task, and to give a unique number to every Indian resident, it's really a non-trivial problem. And but I think it's something which has to be done, and it's something which me and my team are going to focus fully on doing as best as we can.
But what amazes most people is your decision to actually cross the divide, to move from the private sector to the public sector. Why did this project excite you so much to actually go ahead and make
Well, first of all, this project has potential for having a big impact if it's executed well and it delivers on the promise of what is being done. Second, this is at the invitation of the Prime Minister, and
right.
When the Prime Minister of the country calls you and asks you to pitch in on a project, you have to accept. And third, I've been involved with some kind of public service for the last 10 years. I did something in Bangalore, then I was on the involved with setting up the National Urban Renewal Mission and many things like that. And fourth, I think my colleagues were very gracious. They said that it's worth sort of sacrificing me for a larger cause.
Yes, they indeed have sacrificed you, and you've put it very well. But tell us a little more. We do know that your appointment was mooted by the Prime Minister himself. But tell us a little more about how and when he actually told you about this project and told you to take it up.
Well, all this happened, obviously between the time the government came and June 25th when the decision was announced. So it happened actually quite quickly. And, this project seemed to be the right thing for someone like me, because it is about change, but also it's a huge part of it is about technology. And
right.
the fact that I'd spent 30 years in technology, in some sense, I guess, was something I could be a potential person to run this thing.
In fact, in your book, Imagining India, you've also talked about how you were very wary of telling policymakers that technology is the solution, it's the answer to many social ills, because you were wary of being labelled as the computer boy. Now, it's the same computer boy who is actually taking on this project for the government. Did your book actually give ideas to the Prime Minister or to policymakers to actually get you to do this project?
Well, I mean, that's something really you should ask them. But yes, I actually have an entire chapter in my book
right.
on how technology can be used for social transformation. And in some sense, I'm being asked to walk the talk now.
Absolutely. 1 month into office already, are there stark differences you're seeing between the public sector and the private sector?
No, it's different in so many ways. I mean, first of all, I'm moving from the private sector to the public sector. The second is I'm moving from Bangalore to Delhi. The third is I'm moving from an established setup which I had to a startup. So, there's just 3 of us in the office, and we have to get staff. We don't have an office. We are temporarily operating through the generosity of the Planning Commission.
Right.
I don't have the kind of secretarial help that I was used to in my office. So it's a different world. So it's taking me some time to get my feet on the ground. And the thing is that we can't allow the work to slacken. So we're just running full speed to do all the meetings and get all the buy-ins that we need. At the same time, at the back, we're trying to put in place the organization in place.
But you are an entrepreneur by spirit.
It's like a startup.
And the way perhaps you went about setting up Infosys, you've often called yourself as an accidental entrepreneur. How would you describe this move of yours? How similar is it to, say, setting up Infosys?
I'm an accidental social entrepreneur, I like to think of myself as a plumber, actually.
Why do you say that?
Because this is about plumbing, It's not grand policy or something. It's just about fixing the nuts and bolts of how things happen.
That's an interesting way of describing something that the government calls its most ambitious project.
So there's nothing wrong with plumbing. I think having a focus on plumbing is a good thing, because today I think the challenges in India are essentially of implementation, of translating intent into reality. And to translate intent into reality, you need good underlying things. And hopefully what we do will help in that translation.
Tuba.com